everyone. I feel like I haven't said this phrase in a very long time, and I almost feel like I have to reintroduce myself because I haven't filmed a video for about a year, so it just feels really weird right now. I don't even know what to start with or anything, to be honest with you. It just feels weird sitting here and talking to a camera, which I'm using my phone now for as a camera, if that makes sense. But anyway, I think I'm gonna try and come back to booktube, although my reading tastes have changed quite significantly. I'm not enjoying YA books anymore, so I'm just trying to I've got a few left that I need to read, but I've decided for myself that if I'm not enjoying a book, I'm allowed to just DNF it, even if I own it, because I never used to like DNFing books if I actually own them. But now, honestly, I'm not going to care about that. If I have a book and I don't enjoy it, if I just don't want to read it, if it puts me in the reading slump, if I literally just don't enjoy it, I am allowed to DNF it, no matter what and whatever else. But that's what I've decided to do for myself, and hopefully that will help me enjoy my reading a lot more, because I don't read anymore ever near as much as I used to a few years ago. But yeah, at the minute I'm just going to tell you about what I'm currently reading and my TBR for the month of October, and my new system that I'm kind of trying to do at the minute, so we'll see. But yeah, so book number one that I started quite a while ago, to be honest with you, like a few months ago I started this one. It is Who We Are and How We Got Here by David Rake, I'm not sure. But it is a non-fiction book about DNA, because all of a sudden I'm really interested in DNA, and I did a DNA test about like where my ancestors are from, I suppose, and it gave me quite an interesting result. I'm not gonna share it with you, but it wasn't just Russia, it was a couple of different countries too. But still, I just got really interested in DNA and how it works and all that kind of thing, so I bought myself a book. But what I found really difficult about this book is that it is quite detailed and quite sciencey, at least for my understanding. Maybe it also has something to do with the fact that it is in English, and obviously it is not my native language. I'm finding it quite difficult, even though I started reading it, I think in summer, maybe before then, I can't remember. I'm on page 43. I'm not reading it obviously every single day. I tried to set myself a challenge to read a chapter per day, which is like a page and a half long every chapter, or a segment of chapter or something. But even that does not encourage me, because by the time I try to read this book, I'm already tired and my brain just does not want to concentrate on anything, and I just find it quite difficult to even to read it and understand it. And then I also need to reread a sentence a few times in order to understand it, and even then it's quite difficult. I find this book really quite difficult. So, not sure on this one so far, to be honest. I am contemplating to just DNF it, but I'm not doing it quite yet because it is interesting when I actually get it. But anyway, another book that I'm currently reading, it is a reread for me, but that is A Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Ruiz-Zafón. As you can see, potentially it is in Russian, and my dad came to England in July, I want to say July, August, and so he brought me some books that I owned there, and this is one of them, because I asked him to bring this one because I've been, well, first of all, the new book by Carlos Ruiz-Zafón recently came out, which is the Labyrinth of the Spirits, that's the one. And I know that you don't really have to read them in order, but there is kind of an order to the books, and so I thought I do want to reread the first three in order to read that fourth one that he also got me in Russian as well, and I bought it in English as well, because yeah, I'm just silly like that. But yeah, so I decided to reread the first three books in order to read that one. So I've started doing that, and I am halfway through the book. I'm not enjoying it as much as I remember, but I think the first time I read it, I've loved it, absolutely loved it. And I feel like it was probably about 5 years ago, if not more than that. So I've changed and I've read quite a lot more books since then. Maybe that's affecting it in some way or another, but I'm not like enjoying it a lot as much as I used to. But still, I'm enjoying it and gonna go with it anyway. It'll be quite difficult to describe what this book is about without spoiling it, but I feel like it's more a story within a story, and there's a lot more to it than that. But it starts with a cemetery of forgotten books, and our main character goes to the cemetery with his dad and discovers a book there, reads it, falls in love with it, and then he wants to find out about the author of the book. But there's a mystery about it, surrounding it, because somebody's trying to desperately burn all of his books that they can find, so nobody can actually really easily find the books by this author. And then our main character is just trying to find out what happened to the author, where he is now, and what surrounds the whole story, all about it basically. So it's really intriguing and interesting. So yeah, that's another book. And then like I said, I've got a new TBR system in which I basically have my TBR box, as in TBR jar, but it is a box. So I've put in it all of the physical books that I own, and then I've decided every month I'll pull out 5 books, so it'll be 5 choices. I'm allowed to choose 3 books, and that will be my TBR for the month. So that gives me a choice, and that means that I don't really have to choose out of 25 books that I've got on my shelf, because I find it quite difficult to just choose out of that huge amount, because 25 is huge for me. So that would make my choice slightly easier, choosing just out of 5 books, and then have 3 books, because I don't really read as much. I don't read more than 3 books a month. So that's quite a good number for me, and that means almost a book a week. And then sometimes, if I feel like I'm managing quite well and have got more time, I could choose another book. It would be either a free choice, so whichever book I fancy, or an ebook or something. I've also unsubscribed from Audible because I'm not enjoying Audible anymore. I don't enjoy audiobooks in general anymore, that's why. And yeah, or I could just pull out again 3 books and just choose one. So that is my system. And so I could show you my TBR for the month of October. The first one of my choice was Thin Air, A Ghost Story by Michelle Paver. And this book, as it says, is a ghost story, I think. But so far, I'm that far in, which is page, however, 55. It does not, like, I don't know, is there going to be ghosts, or is it just, I don't know. So this book is set in 1935. And it is set on a mountain that I cannot pronounce. Kanchenjunga? I don't know. But yeah, shall I just read you the back because it sounds really intriguing. The Himalayas, 1935. Kanchenjunga, the sacred mountain, biggest killer of them all. 5 Englishmen set out to conquer it, but courage can only take them so far. And the higher they climb, the darker it gets. So it sounds perfect for this time of year, Halloween and all that. And it's quite a short book, so that's on my TBR, and I started reading it. So far I'm finding it quite boring, but like I said, I'm only 50 pages in. But for a book that short, which is 220 pages, 200, just like 230, let's say, the beginning is really slow and boring. So I'm hoping that the action will actually kick in. The next book of my choice was Little by Edward Carey. This is historical fiction, and I've been, ever since I got it, I've been meaning to get to it, so that's perfect time. And also with it being quite autumnal and dark and like Halloweeny sort of thing, I think this is a perfect time to read this book. It is quite chunky, but what I like about it as well is the chapters are really, really tiny. They're like 3 pages long, even though the font is quite small, and it also has illustrations, as you can see. But I love historical fiction now. It's one of my favorite genres that I've discovered for the past year. And so let's see what it's about. Like I said, it's historical fiction. It is set in 1761, and our main character is this little girl, so it is like a coming of age story of sorts. And then, orphaned at the age of 6, she finds employment in the household of reclusive anatomist Dr. somebody, Curtis. And then, her role soon surpasses that of mere servant, as the eccentric doctor takes an interest in his newfound companion and begins to instruct her in the fine art of wax modelling. So that's all I need to know, really, and it sounds really good and interesting. So I'm really intrigued and excited to read it, even though it might take me a very long time because it is a long book, but I'm excited. And the last book of my choice was Welcome to Rosie Hopkins' Sweet Shop of Dreams by Jenny Colgan. I quite like the cover, it's quite cozy and cute. Another chunky one, and this one is like a women's fiction, potentially a romance novel, I'm not exactly sure, but I just like the sound of the books that's set in like shops or cafes, because there's just something cozy about it and all that kind of thing. And especially after recently finishing Rachel's Pudding Pantry by Catherine somebody, that I really enjoyed, I am looking forward to this one. Hopefully it was going to be one of those books that I actually enjoy. This is a story about this girl, Rosie Hopkins, that is leaving London and her boyfriend to work in a sweet shop of her aunt in a small country village. And then I think she discovers some past story of one of her relatives or something, and there's some mystery and stuff, I think. I don't know. I don't want to read it at the minute, but like I said, it's another big book. But hopefully it's going to be interesting. Yeah. And then, like I said, I'm allowed to have a book of my free choice, even though there's one other book that I'm currently reading on my e-reader, but it's kind of on hold by now, so I'm not going to mention it at the minute. But considering the season, I thought it'd be only just appropriate to read a short story collection, which is called Under My Hat, Tales from the Cauldron. So there are short stories by a bunch of different authors, and they're all about witches. So isn't that perfect? I read the first short story last night, and it was called, bear with me a second, it's called Stream Magic by Diana Petterfriend. But I really enjoyed that first story, so I think it would be really appropriate for me to read this book this month. And also, short story collections could be quite easy to read because it's just obviously non-committal. You just read a story every now and then. You don't even have to read it every day or whatever. You just read it however you want. But I feel like it's just, if I don't read it this month, whilst it's really appropriate, I'm just gonna ruin it for myself. So I've decided to make this a book of my free choice for the month of October. So yeah, that is my TBR currently. Wow. It was terrifying. I think my camera just sort of tilted down, didn't it? Anyways, I feel like, why is it getting dark? Hello. So yeah, this is my currently reading and TBR for the month of October. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you're happy to see me being back. I hope I can keep up with videos, and I think I'm going to be doing weekly reading vlogs, even though I don't read enough reading vlogs. But I'm going to try my best. Hopefully that will encourage me to read a lot more, because I became a little bit more of a TV girl. But never mind. We'll see. Anyway, bye.